take up clause, its type and sentence types. So let's get started.
Now let's see that what is a clause. A clause consists of two or more phrases that form a subject and a predicate relationship. A clause must have a subject and a finite verb. It may also have some other elements like an object, a complement, an adjective phrase, or an adverb phrase. Let's understand it with the help of an example. Look at this sentence. India is a great country and she has a rich culture. This sentence has two clauses. Clause 1 is India is a great country and clause 2 is she has a rich culture. Now let's see that how these two parts are clauses. Clause 1 is India is a great country. In this clause, India is a subject, is a great country is a predicate and it has a finite verb. That is why it is a clause. Clause 2 is she has a rich culture. Same is the case here. She is the subject, has a rich culture is a predicate and it also has finite verb. And both of these clauses are main clauses. Now let me introduce you with the types of clauses, that is main clause, subordinate clause and coordinate clause. There are three types of clauses: main clause, subordinate clause and coordinate clause. A subordinate clause may further have three forms: noun clause, adjective clause and adverb clause. First, I will introduce you with these types of clause: main clause, subordinate clause and coordinate clause. Main clause. Main clause, which is also known as principal clause or independent clause, is a clause that does not depend on any other clause for the completion of its meaning. It forms a complete sentence and contains a subject and a predicate. On the other hand, the subordinate clause or dependent clause is a clause that depends on the main clause for its meaning. It begins with a subordinate conjunction and is not a complete sentence. Let's understand main clause and subordinate clause with the help of an example. My dog follows me wherever I go. In the sentence, my dog follows me is the main or principal clause because it makes a complete sentence by itself. And wherever I go is the subordinate clause because it begins with a subordinate conjunction and depends on the main clause for the completion of its meaning. Coordinate clause. In a compound sentence, a coordinate clause is an independent clause that is equal to other clauses in the sentence. Let's understand it with the help of an example. My name is Krish and I like to play football. In this sentence, my name is Krish. I like to play football. These both are independent clauses. They can also be called as coordinate clauses. Let's start with noun clause. It functions as a noun in a complex sentence. For example, I want to know what your plan for tomorrow is. First of all, we have to find out that how many clauses are there in the sentence. So as you can see that I want to know is a main clause and what your plan for tomorrow is a subordinate clause. Now our job is to find out that which form of subordinate clause is this clause is. So it is noun clause because it is functioning as an object of the verb know. Adjective clause. It performs the function of an adjective in a complex sentence. Let's see an example. There are people here who don't know anything about computers. In this sentence, the main clause is there are people here, and the subordinate clause is who don't know anything about computers. Now we have to see that how this subordinate clause is an adjective or how it is functioning as an adjective. Because the clause who don't know anything about computers is describing the noun people. That is why it is an adjective clause. Adverb clause. It acts like an adverb in a complex sentence. Let's see an example. They run out of the house as soon as the door was opened. In this sentence, they ran out of the house is the main clause, and as soon as the door was opened is subordinate clause. And this subordinate clause is showing time. That is why it is an adverb clause. Now it's time to understand types of sentences. There are three types of sentences: simple sentence, compound sentence, and complex sentence. Now let's understand these sentences one by one. Simple sentence. A sentence that has only one independent clause, one subject and one verb relationship is called a simple sentence. As I have already told you about independent clause, it will be easier for you to understand. Let me explain you with the help of an example. I am going to the club. This sentence consists of a single clause that makes complete sense by itself. Therefore, it is a simple sentence. The second one is compound sentence. A sentence that is formed by two or more independent clauses joined together with a coordinating conjunction is called a compound sentence. The example is, I am going to the club and I am going to have a good time there. This sentence consists of two independent clauses joined together by the coordinating conjunction and. Thus, it is a compound sentence. Each of two clauses makes a complete separate statement and has an equal importance in the sentence. It is very important to know that which conjunctions are coordinating conjunctions to understand or to identify a compound sentence. Let me introduce you with some coordinating conjunctions. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so, etc. These are coordinating conjunctions, and there is a simple way to learn these conjunctions, that is fanboys. F for, A for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. Complex sentence. A sentence that consists of one main clause and one or more subordinate clauses joined together by a subordinate conjunction is called a complex sentence. For example, I am going to the club because I am getting bored at home. This sentence consists of two clauses that are joined together by a subordinate conjunction because. Thus, it is a complex sentence. The first clause, I am going to the club, makes complete sense by itself and therefore it is a main clause. The second clause, because I am getting bored at home, does not make a complete sense by itself and depends on the first clause to complete its meaning. That's why it's a subordinate clause. Let me show you some of the subordinating conjunctions. That, because, if, whether, when, why, how, etc. These are some examples of subordinating conjunctions.
I hope you all have understood the topic. See you in the next session. Till then, bye-bye and take care.